The Corkin Entertainment Show is brought to you by Podmatch, the ultimate platform designed to connect podcast hosts with prospective guests effortlessly. Are you a podcaster looking to elevate your show to new heights? Or perhaps you're a guest hoping to share your story with a broader audience. Whatever your podcasting goals are, we have the perfect solution for you. Podmatch simplifies the entire process of discovering guests for your show or finding podcasts to feature your expertise. Now imagine a platform where you can easily match with like-minded creators tailored specifically to your niche. With Podmatch, you can effortlessly network with influencers and thought leaders, all while staying true to your podcast vision. There are a multitude of ways that Podmatch can help you grow your brand. You can be part of a thriving community of podcasters and potential guests. Engage, collaborate, and grow together. If you're ready to experience these fantastic benefits for yourself, we invite you to join Podmatch today. Head over to www.joinpodmatch.com/Corkin Entertainment and sign up right now for only $6 a month. That's right, you heard me right, $6 a month. Join the Podmatch family today and watch your podcast soar to new altitudes. Thank you for tuning into the Corkin Entertainment Show, and happy podcasting. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Corkin Entertainment Show. I'm your host, Franky Corcoran. Trying this again. I just recorded the intro, and then I went to go check. I wasn't really paying attention to the levels, and the thing didn't even record. It's weird. The software I use, it has this button. It says, "Are you sure you want to," or something like that. And I was just like, yes, I pressed record, and obviously I'm talking into the mic, so obviously I want to record. Anyways, just a little technical difficulty. Thank you guys for joining the show today. Yeah, technology is weird sometimes. It is weird. But got to give it to, if you have fewer bad days than good days, that's a good thing. If you're having more bad days than good days, it's a bad thing. But if you have more good days than bad, you got to take the good with the bad. So, anyways, that's enough rambling about that. Thank you guys, as always, for choosing this podcast. If you like it, give us a nice review, rating, wherever you listen to your podcasts, 5 stars, 4 stars, whatever you wanted to give. And yeah, help keep the podcast going, and lets me know that you guys are still interested. So we got a great guest today. Very excited to have him on here today. He is a professional voice actor who's been a part of various video games, audiobooks, animes, cartoons. He's worked for Disney, Microsoft. So many amazing things. Chris Dattoli, very excited to have him on here. Talk about a lot. We talk about a lot of different things. Thank you, Chris, for coming on. Really appreciate it. Had a great time. I'm going to put the link in the episode description for his website. Feel free to check it out. All the awesome stuff that he does. And so hope you guys enjoy the conversation. Later in the show, I want to talk about Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery. One of my most anticipated movies this year. Just released a trailer, plus some early reviews. Going to give my thoughts on that. And also, there was one of the topics I had. I was going to talk about, so James Gunn confirmed that there's a new, the follow-up to Superman was coming out. I was going to talk a little bit about that. But then I got news that kind of overtook that, which is that Tobey Maguire has been spotted in London. Now, why is that important? Well, London just happens to be where they're filming Avengers, Doomsday, and Spider-Man Brand New Day. So, kind of got to talk about that. That might mean something. But, just to touch briefly on Man of Tomorrow, very excited. That's awesome. It's coming out in 2027. Very much looking forward to it. And so I'll probably touch on that in a topic sometime this week. Or not this week, next few weeks, I should say. But yeah, so as soon as I heard that, I said, we got to talk about it. Tobey Maguire, Bully Maguire might be coming back. So, we all knew that there was going to be a sequel to Superman. So, that kind of came as no surprise. But seeing Tobey Maguire on the set of... or not on the set. He's in the same. He's in the vicinity, I guess you could say, of both those sets. But anyways, we'll talk about that later. But yeah, guys, until then, just sit back, relax, and enjoy the podcast today. All right. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Corcoran Entertainment Show. I am your host, Franky Corcoran, and today I am joined by a very talented, award winning voice actor. He's been in just about everything video games, anime, cartoons, commercials. I'm probably leaving out a few, but basically, he's done a lot. He has done a lot. He's an on camera actor, voice actor. Very excited to have him on here today. Chris Dattoli. Chris, how's it going, man?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me. I'm very happy to be here.
Well, thank you for coming on. I always love talking to voice actors too because it's something that not that they're not appreciated. I find there's sometimes there's not enough. I find anyway. This is just my opinion. There's not as much appreciation for voice actors nowadays. I mean, there is, of course, but we're so
Yeah,
used
yeah.
to the on-camera work of people. Like, oh my God, that's like John Wick or that Keanu Reeves. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But we don't take a step sometimes and go like, okay, well, what about those amazing cartoons like like Dragon Ball Z and stuff
Yep.
like that, and all the amazing talent behind that. You know, give them more appreciation and stuff like that. So, but I mean, you've done a lot. I mean, like you're not just a voice actor, you're an actor as well too. Do you prefer voice acting or do you prefer on-camera acting? Which do you kind of have a preference?
I always prefer voice acting because that's where I started off. But I saw one actor, he mentioned, don't like pigeonhole yourself in just one field. Become an actor. Don't just do. I mean, you could specialize in voice acting, you know, just like a chef that specializes in like certain type of meals or what have you, like any hardworking job that they specialize in a certain field. um I am an actor, but I do specialize in voice acting, and I love voice acting a lot more because one, it's a lot more difficult because the audience has to hear your smile, they have to hear your frown as you convey the emotions. Whereas on camera, you could say, you look at a person like, all right, that guy's obviously mad, but like, and like not sounding mad, but like the look on their face, they have like a very like evil demeanor, so to speak. They have to hear that from your voice on the mic. They have to hear you smirking. They have to hear you doing a little frown. So I always, the long-winded answer to your question, I always like voice acting more.
And that's so you guys are listening to the audio version of this as we're talking. Let me know, guys, if you guys can hear us the way we're talking with our hands and stuff. Is it able? Are you guys able to pick that out and everything? I yeah, like that's a good because I this is something I always do. I'm a theater guy. I do lots of theater around here. And one of my things I do for memorizing lines is I will list off all my lines and
Mm-hmm.
I will record them, whether it's through this amazing Shure mic, and then I will listen to them. But I won't just listen to them; I will do the actions and stuff too. So
Mm.
if my character is getting angry, I'll get in the moment. You
The
know what I
moment,
mean?
yeah.
So that really helps as well too. So and helping with learning lines and also remembering the blocking. Is there anything that you learned in doing on camera acting that really carried over to voice acting or vice versa? Things that you learned doing voice that you then carried on camera?
I would say, well, I as well come from a theater background too. I did theater a lot throughout my life. I still do, lit a community theater. I would say it's two different fields, so to speak. I would say the one thing I learned, it's not really so much like just a niche to voice acting, but it's just basically be humble, be kind, be professional. That's kind of what I learned in voice acting. Going, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. Don't get too big of an ego, and just no matter what, be professional. Now, um, I'm learning more stuff more and more as I'm doing a lot more on camera work. It's you can go up, you can ask questions, whereas voice acting is sort of like, no one knows what they want until they hear it. Whereas on camera, they seem to have a better understanding, a little bit more. So yeah, I have to say, it just what I learned is just conveys across all fields is just be professional and be kind and just don't be a jerk. Don't get like interact with everyone and don't be too braggadocio, so to speak. That's an old 90s thing for you.
I love that braggadocio. What do you call it? Braggadocio?
Braggadocio.
That's
That's
good.
something that's probably a 90s or early 2000s talk right there. It's just something I would always say. And maybe it's just a Dattoli thing. I don't know, but I know a couple people say it. So
Millennials hear this and they're like, "What the hell are they talking about?" Uh, but no, like as I kind of said, I have such an appreciation for voice actors and stuff like that too, especially um, uh, I talk to a lot of them on here, and I get their perspectives, and even just as I said, when I'm doing theater and trying to learn lines, and even trying to convey the emotions that I know. Okay, this is the line, but also I want to make sure that I still remember. Okay, like I'm supposed to be angry. I'm supposed to punch something. Like so being able to hear that through. Just just being able to feel like you're in the recording booth with them is always a
right, right.
big if you're able to do that, then hell, that's really a very it's a testament to your talent, for
Yeah.
sure. What
You make them
is
believe that they're in that whatever, if they're playing a video game or watching anime or a cartoon or what have you, they like can feel it and they feel like they're right along right next to you.
Yeah, exactly. That's the best part. You literally feel like you're with Goku. You know what I mean? Like you feel
Yeah.
like you're in that world, and that's truly that takes talent there too. I mean, even do you have people in a lot of the work? I mean, like you've done so much, it's actually insane to go through your credits. Be sure to go over to guys to dattolivoiceovers.com. We're going to put the link in the episode description. Be sure to check that out, and just check out everything he's done. Even just type in Chris Dattoli online too. I mean, like it's absolutely fantastic what you've been able to do. Do you have people who will come up to you and say like, "Oh, I recognized you from this and that," or are you good at kind of keeping it? you know masking your voice so people don't know, oh, that's the guy from that anime, or that's the guy from you did voice work on Arthur, is that correct?
Yeah, the video game was Imago Beyond the Nightmares. The main character's name was Arthur. You mean
Okay,
the
because
kids show Arthur? That I was too young for.
okay, because as soon as I saw Arthur, I said I gotta ask. I said, "Is he Arthur? Like the Arthur, like the kids TV show?" So I said I had to clarify that. But do you have people who will recognize you from certain projects?
Well, I guess I'm doing a really great job masking myself because no one knows who the heck I am. No, I mean I have a few people come up and be like, "Oh, I heard you in this game," or "I heard you from this." Lately, I've done a lot of corporate narration and e-learning, which is sort of like the uncool side of voiceover work, but it pays the bills, so that's always good. I mean, I still diversify. I do everything, or I try to. I don't like to pigeonhole and just be one thing. But I just kind of, yeah, Mesca. I would say that's kind of like the cool thing about voice acting is you do wear a mask where like the celebrities, they can't really go out in public without being harassed. Whereas voice actor, we can go and get our cup of coffee without like, hundreds of people bugging us or anything like that. So I would guess to answer your question, yeah, I guess I mask myself pretty well.
Unless you're, I don't know who's probably the biggest voice actor in the world. I actually don't know who it might be. That's a good
I could tell
question.
you, Frank Welker's one, Mark Hamill,
Mark Hamill, yeah.
um, Steve Bloom,
I
Rob
was gonna.
Paulson.
There was someone else that I was thinking of. I think Seth MacFarlane. Oh, geez, my mic just did that. I think Seth MacFarlane is
Yeah,
considered
very,
probably one of the
very
biggest.
talented. Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's funny when you really think about it, and like when someone asks, like, who is the biggest star in the world, you actually kind of have to stop and go, who is the biggest star in the world? You're
Mm.
like, even I don't know who it is. Tom Cruise, I think.
Biggest star in the world. I mean, Tom Cruise has been doing it for over 40 years and had a very successful career. He's become like not become, he's always been a household name. So, and there's always another Mission Impossible movie coming out too, which I find funny too. So yeah, I would say I guess Tom Cruise would definitely be up there. Because still working to this day, sort of like how Tom Brady is like the GOAT of football. I don't watch much football, but I know Tom Brady.
Yeah, he's never gonna lose it. He's just always gonna be, he'll be in a body cast and he's still gonna be trying to play sports. But it goes to show how much you love it too. And it's always funny when people always talk about the sacrifices that you make for your art. If you're sick, like you come from theater as well too. If you're sick, you still go on stage
Yep.
or, you try and push through it. How are you with that mentality? Are you the type of person who's just like show must go on? Or if it's like if you are really sick, don't just call out. You know what I mean? So what's your
Right.
mindset on that?
So depending, if it's a project, if it's a voiceover project, depending on how my voice is, I will rest as much as possible, and I'll be completely transparent with my excuse me, with my client and my agent, and say, listen, I'm horribly sick. I'm just letting you know, and we'll do the session. If it doesn't turn out well, just do another session. But I will limit myself as much as possible because I am at a danger to myself and my career by going out there because I'm not at 100% and I'm damaging my voice. If I go out there and I keep straining myself when I'm sick, it's not going to work. If it's an on-camera project, I do try to muster through it. But again, it's about rest, depending on what it is. If it's like a background, I actually just got into the Screen Actors Guild. Uh,
Oh, wicked.
if it's something like a background gig, I'll be just say, listen, I'm sorry, I'm very sick. If it's a major role, like I'll usually just kind of, because a lot of the times, if it's a modeling thing, I'll just muster through it and be like, all right, I don't got to talk much. I can just be there. But like usually 8 out of 10 times, because I'm come from a military household, and my father, no matter what, sick or not, he worked. He he was like he still is an electrician. He actually no, I'm sorry, he just retired this a few months ago at 73, I think it was. So he just he would always, no matter what, sick or not, just go out there and work. And I sort of like absorbed that mentality. And then talking to other professionals, and they're like, "Why are you doing that? You're doing a disservice. You're to yourself. You're not at 100%." So I will try to rest as much as possible, not talk to anyone, which is difficult because I'm Italian from Jersey, and all my family loves to talk. So especially my daughters and my wife, and I'll just say, hey, listen, that I really can't. And then my
Yeah.
wife, and I'll tell my wife, and then she'll ask me, oh, hey, did you go do this thing? And I'll be in the other room and I'll be like, and she's like, Chris, I'm talking to you. I'm like, oh.
It's just mouthing.
And she'll go, oh, I forgot. So,
Yeah, do not disturb is on,
yeah,
the do not disturb Chris is on, like the phone setting is on. Um
exactly.
and it's good though. And like your wife, I mean, is she into that stuff too, or is she kind of in a separate work field?
She is in a separate work field and she is not in the field at all. Some people think what I do is cool. I hardest customer I have is my wife. She is not impressed at all. She was probably the most excited because I did extra work for a show and Just Like That, which is a spinoff of Sex in the City.
Oh,
And
right.
she was like, "Oh my god, that's you!" Like that. I'm like, "Really? That's what you were?" I'm like, "You saw the top of my head, like that. That's what you were." Whatever. Whatever makes you happy, babe. So, like but don't get me, she understands it. She knows, like, it's what brings home the bacon, so to speak, and she knows I'm very passionate about it. So, but yeah, because she also keeps me in check to be, hey, don't be a jerk, don't make your head too big. You still go to the bathroom like everybody else. So she's a tough cookie to impress.
We all go to the bathroom. It's normal for
Exactly.
everyone. And that's good. You really need a good support system. It's good. It sounds like you have that, and you have kids and stuff too. So like it's
Mhm.
really and I mean that really becomes when you have kids and you have a family to support. It's one thing to say, okay, I'm gonna go follow my passion. This is what I want to do, and this is what I love to do. But also, I got to keep a roof over my family's head, you know? So
Yeah.
where did you ever have any struggles with I want to pursue this, but it's not paying the bills. I need to go get a or like another job to kind of just see me through. How did you kind of manage that, especially having a family?
I got a very funny way how I did that. I actually come from I went to school for marketing, and I have a degree in business marketing and business administration. And I was actually in the corporate world of marketing. Like I was pretty high up, and I just wasn't happy with the job. It was a combination of, dealing with jerk clients. My boss was a jerk, and I just wasn't happy. And I was getting tired of making other people rich. And just literally, I
That's
remember
true, man.
yeah, it is. And I walked in and said, you know what? I quit. And I walked out, went home. And when I got home, I realized, oh my God, I quit my job. I have two kids to support and an apartment. How the hell am I going to do this? And at that time, I was still dipping my toes into voice acting. I have done a few work. I made a few demos, and I said, well, there's no time like the present to jump in. So yeah, you want to talk about struggles? Keeping three people alive and fed in a single apartment in Jersey, and making sure for doctor's visits and everything. I was very fortunate. I was getting work. I always told myself, don't sell my morals. Don't do anything like that's gonna hurt you down the line. Don't do any don't lowball yourself. So I stuck to my rates, and I was getting a project here and there, and that just kind of kept me afloat. I was barely like, there were nights where I was able to feed my kids, but I didn't get much to eat, or if anything to eat. So it was pretty difficult, but I was very fortunate to just keep at it. And I was also fortunate to be somewhat financially smart and just put money aside. Just because went to school for business, I learned a little bit about finances and just kind of manage my money well, and just kind of keep me afloat here for this time. And then, lo and behold, I got more and more work. Then I was able to get more and more agents, and then still get myself more work and just kind of keep me afloat. And then eventually, I'm in the position where I am today. I was very, very lucky.
And that's awesome, man. Like that's really good. And uh it always sucks whenever you kind of feel like sometimes I want to do this, but I got a wife and kids,
Yep.
like kind of the same mindset you're in. Quit my job. Yes, I'm happy. That's a terrible blah blah blah. Oh shit. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Yeah.
You're just gonna stop and you're like, oh damn it, I quit my job that I hate. Yeah, good news and bad news. The good news is I quit a job that I hate. The bad news is I don't have a job. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
gotta make money somehow, not just to support myself, but to support my family, keep a roof over our heads, keep them fed, all that stuff. So that's where the arts always gets difficult for some people because it's like when you get the work you can make a killing, but
Mm-hmm.
it's difficult to make a living because just jumping from job to job, basically. You do this job, okay, now I need to look. And then while you're doing that job, you have to look for other gigs and stuff. So
Yeah.
it gets very tiring sometimes. Was there any point at all when you were kind of like, "Ah, maybe I should have stuck with my regular job or what was the mindset you had?
So I was very fortunate to think I just said like I live by two mottos. One is you didn't lose, you learned how to win, which means every time I went for a job and I lost that job, or every time I would play sports, or not like I played a lot of sports, or every time I would lose at a video game, I would think to myself, all right, I didn't lose. I'm learning how to win, because I eventually uh, pick up a different thing. Every job I didn't get, I would learn something from it. I'm like, okay, maybe I'm just not the right voice. Maybe I should have went this direction. Let me try it this way for another project I do. No matter what, I knew I didn't want to go back to that hellhole, even though like it was a very good paying job. Don't get me wrong, like the money was very good. And there were times where I was just beaten and beaten down. And I just thought, this is, you're being tested. This is where like, it's, forgive the profanity I'm going to use, but you shit or get off the pot. Like, it's coming. You're going to get your ass kicked. I mean, that's if it was easy, everyone would do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just keep at it, just keep at it, keep at it. And as weird as it sounds, what kind of kept me going was when I mentioned to my parents that I wanted to be a voice actor. They actually the next day they went to Disney World, and on the trip back, I picked them up, and my dad gave me a trophy, and it was a little Mickey Mouse trophy, and it said, "You're great." My dad said, "Chris, no matter what, if you don't get anything in life, you at least got a trophy here." And
Oh, nice.
that kind of kept me going a little bit. My father's very tough love. Again, military family. Now he's getting older. He's getting more lovey-dovey, but not he was not a bad guy at all. Don't get me wrong.
He's
Just
listening to
very
this going like, I didn't say
yeah.
that.
But just kind of like it's just when you feel like you're gonna faint, don't faint. Just keep it going. I did a few other jobs to kind of keep like I did a few freelance marketing to keep the lights on and everything here and there. It's sort of like if someone who does real estate, really pretty much anyone in sales. I equivalent doing voiceover work to sales because you're sort of selling your voice to your clients. You're selling that I can be this character. When you're in sales, you have great months, you have horrible months, you have times where like I really should get a day job and get some sort of income. I just didn't lose that mindset, and I just kept focused. And my kids too. Just what was really wonderful is they're a lot older now, and I'm not cool at all in their eyes. But when they were younger, I got to spend more time with them. So that was good. That was nice.
You're like, I
So
used to be cool. What happened?
yeah. Well, now I have a 10-month-old, so I could be cool all over again with her.
Oh,
Like
there we go. That's
my
good.
other
That's
two,
good.
yeah, I have a 16, 17, and 10-month-old. So
Hope this will
uh
break the cycle of,
yeah.
hopefully she just keeps thinking I'm cool. The oldest, yeah, it's fine. Um, but no, that's awesome, man. That's really, really good. Like it's really, I always love hearing different perspectives on, how people are able to, because there's always some people have the mindset of just go for it. Don't worry about money, blah 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 blah. But then there's people who are, I want to go for it, but I can't afford it. Like I need
Yeah.
to, especially having a family and all that. And so trying to find the balance right there is always, very key. So you've been able to do a lot of stuff with voice acting. I mean, like as I said, there's too many credits to list. Is there one in particular that really kind of made you go, I made it. Like this is I really found my that like really I crossed the finish line. I made it to the top of the mountain. Was there a role that made you think that?
Um, Not yet, because my mindset's a little warped. I always think like, that's pretty cool. I did that. Let's get something else. Um, I learned along the way. I mean, my at my marketing job, the boss was a complete jerk, but he had a motto was there is no finish line. Like you could always, there's another accomplishment. But he warped it into a negative way. I turned it around to a positive way. Like, that's great. Let's see. What else can I do? It was never like, oh, I could do better or anything. But like, I wonder what else I could do. I wonder what else I can get. Like I was always hungry for more. So I feel any voice actor who says I made it didn't make it. As weird as that sounds, like and if there's any like actor whoever says like I made it, I'm good. No, because the cool thing about voice acting is you never stop learning. There's always a new trend, there's always a completely new field, there's always there's always something to learn. you know um Bob Bergen, who is the voice of Porky the Pig, he's always learning. All like the steady working voice actors, the top voice actors, they always learn something. Now they're able to get a trait where they go right into a booth and pick up a character and be amazing, but there's always something. They always learn something. I'm repeating myself a lot. I apologize, but
No, that's all good.
that's what I love about it. There's always something to learn. There's always another accomplishment. And not that saying like, all right, that's cool. I try my best not to get a big head, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. And I look at myself where I was like a few years ago. Let's say 5 years ago. I'm like, where was I 5 years ago? Oh, I was here. Okay. How far along have I come? What have I done differently? and what accomplishments I have. And I'm very happy to say, in every 5 years that I started, it's been better. I was never worse off. It's like, well, look at it. You got agents, you got this, you landed this job. I will say it was cool doing something for Disney. It was cool doing a few animation projects. Um, it was cool for Imago Beyond the Nightmare. Um, it's an the developers based in Italy. They actually won a pretty big award in Italy, and I was really happy. So if I went over there, I'd be pretty cool. Like everyone would be like, "Oh, you're that guy. That's awesome." Also, Identity V. I did the voice of Murrow. That was pretty cool because I worked alongside Bryce Pappenbrook and a few others. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like, and I had no idea. Like, I went in there, I just do my job and I leave. And I looked like, oh, and someone said like, oh, you know who else is in it? I'm like, oh, who are the other guys? I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool, huh? Like, it's kind of cool, like working along with like some of the top talent. I worked alongside a lot of the top talent. We never met because everything's remote or things of that nature. But it's still pretty cool. We heard each other. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I got to work with I don't know, I was gonna say a voice actor, and now I just can't. Mel Blanc, who voiced that's Bugs Bunny, right? Mel Blanc, I
Yeah,
think.
well,
Yeah,
uh, Mel Blanc. Yeah,
yeah, I got to work with Mel Blanc. Oh my God, like how was he? Oh, I don't know. I never met him.
yeah.
Yeah, and well, do you kind of prefer doing it like remotely where you don't see anybody, you're just able to do it from home, especially when you got a family? Do you prefer it that way, or do you prefer to be in an actual studio with everybody, or how do you prefer to have it?
I prefer to be with everybody. That's actually the big difference because I when I went to Otakon for a few years ago for 2 years in a row, I helped my friend Paul Stefano and Sean Daly do a podcast called the VO Meter, where I interviewed a lot of the guests there at Otakon. One of them, I'm drawing a blank on the name, but he was a Japanese voice actor. And one of the questions I asked him was like, "What's the biggest difference between like American voiceover and Japan voice doing voiceovers in Japan?" And he said they do it more like a radio play where everybody's in the studio, like nothing's remote. You have to go to the studio. Everyone's there, and everyone just kind of steps up, says their lines, and go back and forth like a big radio play. And I'm like, I would love to do that. Like, I mean, like 90% of the work that I do, it's in my own personal studio. But the few projects I actually go to a studio and work with other people, that's awesome because you feed off one another. Like I could see, like, oh, he's getting energetic. Oh, he's getting scared. Or this is work. You get into character more. It's like doing theater work where, like, you can't explain it. You feed off the audience. Like, just there's something there, hearing people laugh, hearing people cry, like actually in person. Like, it's kind of cool. I'm like, all right, I'm going to turn it up a little more and see what else I can do. It just feeding off that's incredible.
Yeah, you literally, yeah, that's the best part. I was actually talking on another podcast about this just recently. You feed off the audience that you're already buzzing when you come out, but
Yeah.
it's one of those things where it doesn't matter if there's 50 people, if there's 100 people, if there's 5 people. If they're laughing, that fuels you. If they're
Yep.
crying, that fuels you. Like just the fact that you know that they're getting into it, because we know that there's some people that you're like, they're sitting there and they're watching it and they're just kind of like sitting there just going, yeah, okay, yeah, you see the look on their face and you're kind of like, okay, they look like they're enjoying it, but I don't know. It doesn't, maybe they're not enjoying it. But when you hear them and they're like on like clenching their stomachs laughing, they're grabbing tissues because they're crying, that's when you know. That's when you really, really know. And so that's why, yeah, doing it with people helps, just being there with everybody. Um, and so when you do it from home and you're doing like a big heavy scene, what are some of the difficulties behind that, where you have to, like, it's a fairly serious moment or it's a fairly funny moment where most people prefer to be working with the other people like in the same room. But if you're in a situation where you're doing it from home, how do you kind of get into character in those types of situations?
So what I do is I took them down, but I have 5 pictures in my studio. One is of my wife, one of my kids, one of my mom, one of my best friend. and one of someone who I absolutely hate with a passion. And regardless, whatever script is commercial, video game, what have you, I'll read to those characters because the way I talk to my best friend is going to be different the way I talk to my mom. The way I talk to my kids is going to be completely different to the way I talk to someone that I hate. And I pull out different emotions that way. One of my coaches taught me that, and it works phenomenal. So I just kind of look at them and I'll pull out different emotions, um, and get into character. Like if it's really emotional, I'll picture my kids there, or I'll picture my wife. Depending if my wife makes me mad, if it's I need to get mad, I'll look at her. Don't hope she's not listening. I mean, I hope she is, but forgive me for
She
that.
flags the episode. The
Right,
episode
right.
gets removed. What happened to it? Uh,
Oh. So that's just one trick that I do. It's always nice to kind of like read to someone. I'm at the point where like looking at a script, I can kind of look at the script and like look away real quick to get in character. It takes time to learn that. So yeah, it's just one trick that I do. Other
oh,
times I
awesome.
will like legit like force myself to cry. I listen to music. I feel I draw a lot of strength from music. I have a playlist of songs to get me in like a heroic mood, a evil mood, to get to cry on command. Like it's just certain songs, and I make an emotional connection with them, and I feel all right, go. So I actually taught a class, a voice acting class, and we were all about how music and meditation can help you get into character. And I use music. I meditate a lot. And yeah, there's just a few things I do.
A lot of them, but even I'm learning something new every day. We were just talking about that. You learning all these different things that you think you already know. Even when you're doing theater and you've been doing something for a long time, there's still going to be things where you're like, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. And that's the best part about it all. It's it makes you better. It also keeps you on your toes too, which is really really good. Um, yeah, I mean, Chris, like, man, you've done a lot, and just congratulations on all of your success, your
Thank you. Thank
awards
you.
as well too. It's absolutely fantastic. What do you have for any upcoming projects that you'll be able to talk about?
Well, really, like I said, it's a lot of corporate narration, so nothing kind of cool. There is one project I wish I could talk about. Unfortunately, I cannot. So I'm just always grinding, always working. I am a coach. I do well, voice acting coaching. so so I had a brain fart for a second. I need more coffee.
I'm a
So
coach. What do I coach again?
yeah, exactly. I had to think for a second. I still got like been a long, long day. A lot of
Dad
recording.
brain. It's dad brain when you
Exactly,
got
dad
kids.
brain.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do coach for voice acting. So I'm always working with students, and yeah, and I also I'm going to be at a convention in Jersey called J1Con, where we're going to talk about voice acting. I'm going to tell people how to avoid the bullshit in voice acting, and people are going to come up. I'm actually have a little portable recording booth I have to set up, and people can record, and I give them the recordings afterwards. It's some scripts from past projects I've been in, and also different movies and shows.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, it's awesome, man. Yeah, so guys, be sure anybody in that area, be sure to go on down. Chris, thank you so much for coming on, man. This was
Thank you for
like,
having me.
as I said, I love the art of voice acting is a lot of fun. Like it's one of those things that, as I said, we should appreciate more. I mean, like it's very appreciated, but it's one of those things that we don't always see the face. We
Yeah,
just see the
yeah.
fictional character. It's
And
always like it's so funny when I first saw who's the actor who plays Goku in Dragon Ball. I can't remember his name.
Sean Shamel,
Sean
Shamel,
Schemmel. Yes, that's right.
Schimmel, yeah.
First time I saw him, I was like, that's Goku? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I was like, wow. I was just like, that's just not at all what I expected Goku to look
Right.
like. You know what I mean? But that's just a testament to his talent, that he's able to make him look like that. And then all of a sudden I'm like, wow, he kind of looks like me. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
look at pictures of Kevin Conroy, who was the voice of Batman.
Yes.
He
Yeah.
just now voicing Batman, it's this big, strong guy, and he I'm not talking bad about him at all, but he just was very frail, so to speak, or like he looked uh frail, so to speak. I'm like, that's Batman, really? Huh. Would have like, like I would have never pictured that person to voice that to this guy.
But that's the
So
beauty of voice acting. You know what I mean?
exactly, and I would what I wish is that because I know the reason why Hollywood does it, but like getting someone like Charles Martinet, who's been the voice of Mario for years, to actually be Mario in the Mario movie, but they got Chris Pratt, and the reason they do that is for a marketing thing. Chris Pratt is well known, in all fields, all markets, whereas Charles Martinet is popular in this market, only one. So who's gonna sell more? They did it a lot in the 80s, where voice actors for characters actually voiced the voice actors in movies. So now, they kind of they go with the big Hollywood guys. And I wish it would stay true. Like I think Yuri Lowenthal is a good Spider-Man in the video games and other things. Maybe be the voice of Spider-Man on like the big screen, but I'm not a big Hollywood executive.
Yeah, well, like even the Mario thing too. I always criticize that. I'm like, I say Chris Pratt did a great job as Mario. There were times where I'm like, okay, he sounds like Chris Pratt. That was my thing. I was like, there's a lot of times where I'm like, okay, he sounds like Mario, and then I'm like, okay, that's Chris Pratt.
Right.
But Charles Martinet, it was one of those things. I was like, you have him in your movie, use him. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like use him as Mario. But that was just me. As I said, I'm not a big Hollywood executive, but still, we just watch it and go, damn it, really? He was there. You could have used him.
Yeah.
But
It's a marketing ploy. So
if
that's
anybody
the reason.
who's working on Mario 2 is listening to this, very excited for that, by the way. That's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
So yeah, Chris, thank you so much. Yeah, we're talking about Chris Pratt. Now
Yeah,
I'm going
this
to say bye,
Chris.
Chris Dattoli. Chris, thank you so much, man. Again, I appreciate it. And best of luck in everything you do.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Best of luck for everything you do, buddy.
My pleasure, man. Thank you. Guys, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. But until then, this is Frankie and Chris signing off. Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Cork and Entertainment Show. That was me and Chris Dattoli. Thank you, Chris, for coming on. And guys, be sure to check out Chris's website. Link is in the episode description. Thank you again, Chris, for coming on. Really appreciate it. So moving on to our solo segments today, the first one that I want to talk about is Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery. Just to say, I love the Knives Out franchise. It's funny when they first came out and you're kind of thinking, oh, this is just going to be some silly murder mystery. It's probably not going to be anything real fancy. The first Knives Out movie was absolutely excellent. Like, it was really one of the best surprises for a movie I've seen in a long time. I absolutely adore that first Knives Out movie. Glass Onion was also great. It's I don't like it as much as the first one. I thought there were a few problems with it. But overall, I love this franchise too, and Knives Out and Glass Onion. Some people say that they like Glass Onion more than the first one, which, I mean, that's kind of interesting. But, for me personally, just the Knives Out, the first one, just kind of, I don't know. It's definitely check it out, guys, if you haven't seen it, and Glass Onion as well, too. But now, of course, they're making a third film, which is called Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery. And it's coming out in December. Very excited. It's coming out on Netflix. Netflix basically bought the rights for two Knives Out films. After the first one came out, they bought the rights for the two sequels for like $400 million or something like that. That wasn't even their budget. That was just, we're just acquiring the rights for this franchise. Here you go. Here's $400 million to buy them. Like, that's insane. So that just shows how much faith Netflix has in this. And so whether there's going to be more after this, I'm sure there's probably going to be. I've heard some people say that this is the last one. It's the last one on the Netflix deal, but I mean, they can always just renew it because I mean, Daniel Craig and Rian Johnson have said that they want to keep on making these movies. So yeah, this probably isn't the last one. But anyway, so be sure to check out, guys. There's a trailer for it. They say it's a teaser, but it's like 2.5 minutes long. I pretty much just say it's the official trailer. So overall, it's quite good. The trailer is quite good. And one of the things about the Knives Out movies, just the amazing friggin' cast they always have lined up for these films. I mean, the first one, you got Chris Evans, you got Jamie Lee Curtis, just unbelievable. Second one, you had Edward Norton, you had Dave Bautista, you had what was her name there? She was why can't I think of her name? She's in like a lot of things nowadays. Why can't I think of her name? Jessica Henwick. She's in so much stuff. Kate Hudson, Catherine Hahn, just insane casting that they always pick for these films. And if I had to guess, I'd say Wake Up Dead Man, I think probably has the biggest, I would say. Like, just look at this cast here. We got Josh O'Connor, Glenn Close, Josh Brolin, Mila Kunis, Jeremy Renner, Kerry Washington, Andrew Scott, Kaylee Spaney, Daryl McCormick, and Thomas Hayden Church. Just mind-blowing. It's just mind-blowing. It just, to me, just the incredible talent that they have for this. And then, of course, Daniel Craig leads the whole thing as Benoit Blanc, which is, Benoit Blanc is just so iconic now at this point, really gives that Hercule Poirot. How do you pronounce the last name? Poirot. I'm not a big. I'm not sure exactly how you pronounce that. I'm more of a Miss Marple. Those types of ones too. Which, I mean, yeah, they're kind of connected. But anyways, so yeah, the trailer's out. It's fantastic. One of the things I love about it is that it really. One of the things I wasn't a huge fan of in Glass Onion was that the tone almost kind of changed a little bit, where it felt almost too silly at some points. The first one, yes, it was silly at some points, but Glass Onion was just kind of it wasn't. It's not really what I would have wanted in terms of a tone. It was like sometimes I was like, is it a comedy? Is it are they making fun of it? Like what are they doing with this? And from what I can tell from the reviews and the trailer is that, yes, there is, much like the first one, it is serious, but there is some comedic elements to it too, which is, I think that's what the first one did so well. Whereas Glass Onion kind of leaned a little bit more onto the silly side of things. But so yeah, the trailer's excellent. This is coming out on December 20. When's this coming out again? December 12th. It's coming out. It's also going to have a theatrical run as well in November, at the end of November, which is good for a film like this. These types of movies. I know Daniel Craig was pushing for having a theatrical release, and I'm glad that it's getting some form of it. I don't know if it's going to come in my theater or not. But but it had its world premiere at the Toronto International Film Festival just last week, and so some early reviews for it came out, and so right now it's, as I'm saying this right here, it currently holds a 96%, which is excellent, which is absolutely fantastic. And so some of the reviews here, so there's Megan Navarro says, through Benoit Blanc's latest leans into gothic atmosphere and imagery, Johnson manages his streak for vibrant humor and intricate mystery plotting. Let's see, it's it is a Brian Tallarico. It's a film so rich in ideas that it's rare. It's the rare whodunit that seems to likely play even better the second time when following the mystery can take a backseat to considering how Johnson has crafted one of his best screenplays. Ricky Church says, while it perhaps isn't the strongest of the three Knives Out films, It is incredibly captivating and might be Johnson's most personal film in the series yet. That right there is a good. It's interesting. I'm kind of curious because some people are saying it's the best of the Knives Out films. Some are saying it's not the strongest of the Knives Out films. It's all subjective. I'm looking forward to seeing once it comes out. Do I think it's the best one? But judging from the trailers and stuff, the tone of it is perfect. And Ryan Johnson, of course, is writing and directing it again too, which is, I always say that too. I mentioned this. What movie was I saying this about? Where it's a writer director making these films. It's a vision of one person. Ryan Johnson has really made an incredible franchise and just absolutely spectacular. And I'm so excited to see more of this, and whether this truly is the last one. I can't see it. People are saying it's the last one. It's the last one on the Netflix deal. Now, granted, I haven't seen the movie. I don't know. Maybe the way it ends, it's like there's no way they can make another one. But we'll see how it goes. I'm really curious to see what happens. But be sure to let me know your thoughts, guys. Are you excited for Wake Up Dead Man? Do you think it's going to be the last of the Knives Out movies? Are you excited for it? What did you think of the first Knives Out and Glass Onion? And for those who did see it, I'm curious your thoughts on the film as a whole. Is Wake Up Dead Man the best one? Do they set it up, in a non-spoilery way, of course? But very excited to see it. Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery. Netflix on December 12th. And for those of you guys who will be lucky enough to see it in theaters on November 26th. Just a stellar cast, stellar writer-director. And I just love those murder mysteries, those classic whodunits, and very excited to see what comes of this. So be sure to let me know your thoughts. This episode of the Corcoran Entertainment Show is brought to you by Holy Hydrogen. Okay, guys, let's be real. We all try our best to stay hydrated, right? But not all water is created equal. That's where Holy Hydrogen comes in. They've got this awesome device called the Lourdes Hydrofix Premium Edition, and it takes clean water to the next level by infusing it with molecular energy. That means you're not just drinking water, you're giving your body extra support with every sip, better energy, less inflammation, and a real boost to your immune system. So try the Lourdes Hydrofix Premium Edition today by going to shop.holyhydrogen.com/Corcoran and use the promo code Corcoran for $100 off your purchase. Again, that's shop.holyhydrogen.com/Corcoran and use the promo code Corcoran at checkout. Stay hydrated and stay healthy. And so moving on to our last solo discussion topic today is going to be, there's some speculation going on about Avengers Doomsday and Spider-Man Brand New Day. So of course these films are in production right now as we speak. Very excited to see them both. Spider-Man Brand New Day comes out in July next year, and Doomsday's coming out next December. So very excited to see both of those films. It's gonna be a big year for films too, and big year for entertainment in general. GTA 6 and amazing stuff. But there's some reports now that a certain somebody was spotted in London where they just happened to coincidentally be filming these two movies. Who is that? None other than Tobey Maguire himself. Tobey Maguire apparently is spotted in London. Now, here's the thing that we gotta, people are running with this and saying he was spotted on the set. He was spotted on the set. No, he was in London. That's all it was. He was in London. Maybe he was filming another movie. Maybe he was just there on vacation. Maybe he was visiting family. We don't know why he was in London. So that's just the first thing that we have to keep in mind. So, of course, I'm reading this off MovieWeb. Comic Book Movie reports that Maguire, who played Peter Parker / Spider-Man in the Sam Raimi directed Spider-Man films and reprised his role 14 later in Spider-Man No Way Home alongside Tom Holland and Andrew Garfield's incarnations of the Webhead, has been seen in London. His appearance in the same city where the movies are filming might be suspicious, but it's also circumstantial and doesn't confirm his involvement in either film. The most likely explanation is that might just be that he's visiting. There's certainly more to do in the city than work on a Marvel movie, which that's true. That's something that we really do got to keep in mind, though, is that we like just because he's in London, it doesn't mean anything. It'd be like if they were filming this in New York and he was spotted in New York. Guess what? New York's a big ass city. Just because he's in New York, it doesn't mean anything. So I just think we need to go into this with an open mind. Is what I think we need to do. Just because he's there doesn't mean anything, you know. But would we be crazy to think that maybe something's going on here? I don't think it's, especially for Marvel, it's not entirely out of the ordinary for something like this to happen. Like, I think it's possible. It's 100% possible that he is, in fact, going to be in one of these two films. If I had to say which one's more likely, I'd say probably Doomsday. I just think Brand New Day, they're just going to keep it more grounded. They're not going to be much to do with the multiverse and things like that. So if one of the two were going to happen, I would say it's going to be Doomsday. Sorry. So that's just something we should say right off the bat. I mean, even if he's there, some say he's going to be in both. I think if he's going to be in them, I think it's just one. But so the likelihood of this, let's just put it on 50-50. Because it's Marvel, anything's possible. We're getting Robert Downey Jr. back as Doctor Doom. So, I mean, that's a big thing right there. We may or may not be getting Chris Evans too. There's kind of mixed reports on that. First they said it was confirmed, and then they said it's not. So we don't really know what's going to happen. But do I think Tobey Maguire should come back? This is just me. This is just my opinion. I'd be fine if we didn't see him. It's kind of one of those situations, like, you know, if someone, like, I straight up say Hugh Jackman's not coming back as Wolverine. I say he's not. I think he's done as Wolverine. Just like, you know, because he retired the character. He obviously wanted to come back to do Deadpool and Wolverine. I just think he's done. I just think there's no. But if they said he was coming back, I would not argue. I'd just be like, awesome, we're getting him back. So that's just something that we should, you know, make sure that I say is just because I don't think he should come back, or he is going to come back. That doesn't mean I wouldn't be pissed off if he did. So I'm going to say probably, you know, 50-50, you know, like should he come back? I mean, if it's the right story, I think No Way Home had a perfect send off for his character, because the thing with him and Andrew Garfield is that they never got their swan songs. You know, like Spider-Man 3, Amazing Spider-Man 2 was clearly set up for more films, and then they pulled the plug on them. Spider-Man 4 with Tobey Maguire was like confirmed it was happening, and then they pulled the plug on it, you know, months later. So they never got their, you know, there was that sense of closure that they never got. So Spider-Man No Way Home really gave them that. It gave them that opportunity to come back after all those years, and it sort of wrapped up their stories perfectly. So I'd be fine if we didn't see him. You know what I mean? I think it'd be fine if we didn't see him and kept Spider-Man No Way Home as their swan song too. But we'll see. I mean, like, it's just like if you were to say, you know, could it be possible that he's just visiting London? Yes, it absolutely is possible. But you're also not crazy to think that, okay, he's coincidentally there the exact same time that they're filming this movie, or these two big movies that he normally has big parts in. You know, like, you're not crazy to think that. Absolutely not. So just a little something for us to, you know, kind of consider. Whether it comes to fruition or not, we don't know. But we'll see how it goes. Right now, I'm kind of 50-50 on it because it's Marvel. Anything's possible. If you told me years ago that they were going to appear in No Way Home, I would have been like, you're out of your mind crazy. And it happened. And so if you're telling me that he's going to appear in this one, okay, maybe not. But because of what we've seen in the past before, I mean, hell, in this movie, we're getting Robert Downey Jr. back in the MCU, not as Iron Man, but as Doctor Doom. So anything's possible. I'm kind of going 50-50 on it. Probably lean more towards he's just visiting. But a good argument can be made that, yeah, we are going to see him. Because, I mean, Doomsday and Secret Wars are going to be big. Secret Wars, I'm sure it's going to be a huge... we're going to get lots of people back for that one. But we'll see how it goes. But until then, just be sure to let me know your thoughts. Do you think Tobey Maguire being in London means anything? Is he just on vacation? Or is he filming Doomsday and or Brand New Day? Or neither of them? He's just there to visit London because it's London. Who doesn't want to go to London? Definitely be sure to let me know your thoughts on that. And we're going to call it for the show today, guys. I want to thank my guest, Chris Dattoli, for coming on. Be sure to check out his website in the episode description. Thank you, guys, for listening to the show. Leave us a nice rating, all that stuff. And yeah, just thank you guys as always. We'll see you guys in the next episode. But until then, this is Franky signing off. Cheers, everybody.